The water has got some foam in it from previous fires. Foam sticks to the wall. What we're doing here, this is a high-rise drill at the Stratosphere Tower. We are going to be pumping water from the street level all the way up to the top of the Stratosphere Tower, which is approximately 1,000 feet off the ground. Without the use of fire pumps, we're using the pumpers to obtain the pressure needed to get to the top of the tower with the adequate flow that we need. We're going to be doing what we call tandem pumping, where one pumper is going to be pumping into the next, boosting the pressure up as it goes up. This is rarely done in a fire service, but this is in case all systems would fail. This would be our backup. So the water is first taken from the fire hydrant, and it's pumped into this truck, this pumper, and this pumper will pump it in to this pumper right here. Each pumper doubles the pressure. So by the time the water gets to the fire department connection where it hooks up into the building, it will be 3 times the pressure that it should be. Water is coming from this engine, and then it goes back to the other engine. So 3 engines in a line are pumping, so water will come off the top of the Stratosphere, which should happen in just a few minutes. We'll watch while they get the hoses hooked up. Gary, he's going 1,000 GPM? No, I didn't. What is that the plan?
Yeah, we're trying to get 3 lines at total 1,000 GPM.
1,000 GPMs, 1,000 gallons a minute at the top at approximately 1,000 feet above the street. This building has a series of fire pumps in it, and it also has backup fire pumps, so if those pumps don't work, the next set of fire pumps would work. There's also water tanks located at the top of the pod, so if the water supply gets broken from the street, there's water at the top that can flow down and help fill the system. But as a backup, if everything was to fail in the building, this system was put in so the fire department could pump to the top in the event that everything that we have put into the building fails. And this is what we're testing today to make sure that that system works, and we would get adequate water flow to the top from the street for our fire hoses if we needed it. This is the fire department hookup, and this is where the water is going into the building. Again, we're at the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino, South Las Vegas Boulevard in downtown Las Vegas. The fire department is holding a drill. They are testing a backup system that is in the building to see if we can flow water from the top of the Stratosphere, which is approximately 1,000 feet off the ground. And we'll be flowing water off the edge here in just a little bit. We're going to pull back away here in just a bit so we can see the water coming off the top of the building. What you see is fire pumpers one after another because of the pressure needed to get that water to the top, which will give it 1,000 gallons a minute. The first pumper is pumping into the second pumper. The second pumper is pumping into the third pumper. This pumper is pumping into the building. When you go from one engine to the next, it doubles the pressure. And this is what we will eventually get the water pressure that we need to get the desired fire flow at the top of the building.
Copy, that was truck 8 joining 106.
Normally under an emergency conditions, the building has special elevators that go very fast. They go up to the bottom of the pod. The slants that you see at the very bottom is a bunker and evacuation center where people would evacuate to from the upper floors, and then they would be brought down by elevator to the bottom of the building, which is unusual. Elevators are not used in the event of an emergency. You can see just a little bit better here. The water will be flowing off the top right directly up above us from where that green area is, down below the tower. It should disperse before it hits the ground. And again, that will be flowing at about 1,000 gallons a minute. Water is in the system now. The system has been filled with water from the street. Once they get up there, they will start flowing, and we will put a meter on there to make sure that we get our desired fire flow. Now, someone asked, should we be flowing water when there's such a shortage? Now, this hasn't been done in several years, and you do have to check your emergency systems out to make sure that they do work. Sprinkler systems are tested usually each year. You don't want to find out during an emergency that the system didn't work or you have to make improvements. So this is why occasionally we have to do drills like this. So in the event of an emergency, everything will work the way it was designed. We're just waiting any time for them to flow the water, like just in a real fire situation. The crews have gone up. They have to carry the fire hoses up with them that they're going to be using. Once they get below the fire floor, you take the elevator to a distance below the fire floor, and you have to take the internal stairwells up. All of these tests are being conducted with full turnout gear, which means the firefighters...
108, we have all 3 lines ready to pump. We will open valves when you're ready.
They are wearing 60 pounds of gear.
Copy. Go ahead and open your hose lines and we'll start to pump the system.
They've been told to go ahead and start
copy.
revving it up to
Go ahead and open valve.
the proper pumping capacity, so water should start going up towards the top from the bottom.
109 stairwell, copy.
Command to all engineers, slowly start increasing your pressure. Slowly start increasing your pressure.
So now they will start pumping up. They'll go to slowly increase the pressure. It's just like driving a car. Stepping on the gas, you start up slowly and then you eventually bring it up to speed. And that's what they are doing now. Because you're working 3 pumpers that are connected to each other, you have to do it together at the same time. Because we're working with increased pressures that are not normally used at other building fires, a special hose was made for this. All of the fire units in Las Vegas has this special hose on it. It's marked green so the firefighters know that it's made for the Stratosphere. We can use it on other fires, but for this particular operation, that special hose has to be used. And it is made to withstand triple the pressure of a regular fire hose, and that's because of the pressures that we're using today to pump this. And then we can see there is some water at the top. See it going straight up into the air. It'll probably be
Command 108 on the side.
become a little bit more forceful as
Shut down the fire pump, so everything we're pumping right now is from top to the bottom, so let me know how all 3 fire streams are up there.
so
108, I copy, we are increasing pressure now.
mission is accomplished. They got a second line in operation. We've got, it appears that they've got 3 lines in operation off the roof now. I don't know if you can hear it, but you can hear that the engines are revving up. And that means that they're at higher RPMs because they're getting that pressure needed to shoot the water off the top of the building. You can see it here.
Command 108, net pressure now 150, 150.
They are
Copy, 150.
getting 150 pounds pressure off the system. You can see the water coming down off the top of the building. It's not making it to the ground.
Another update now, pressure 200, 200.
As you can see, it's in operation. They report they got 200 psi, 200 pounds pressure at the top with 3 lines in operation from in front of the building from street level, almost 1,000 feet up. We're getting over 1,000 gallons a minute flowing, and they're at about 200 pounds pressure. Now the engines didn't have to be modified for this.
100, 100.
These are 1,500 GPM pumpers. What they're doing is they're pumping one into the next, tandem pumping. Each time you do this, it doubles the pressure so we can get the desired pressure needed so we have the adequate flow at the top of the building. The only thing that we did have to change was to get the special hoses, which is the green hose that you see going into the building, and that was made special.
Command 108, I copy 150 now. Pressure is 150. We're flowing 2 1 3/4 and 1 2.5.
So the crews have got one 2.5 inch hose and 2 1 3/4. The 1 3/4 is what's normally used on a room fire, building fire. The 2.5 would be on a larger fire. And they are all adequately flowing from the street using this. Okay, this is as good as it's going to get. We're going to sign off here. And thanks for watching. I'll have updates on Twitter. I'll be putting some pictures on Twitter so you can keep up with us. Thank you.